As you might know, Halloween is coming up. That means on the 31st of October you can be all spooky again. Take out the pumpkins, scare your neighbor, that kind of stuff. It's also that time of the year where you can voluntarily lock yourself up and play some of your favorite horror games. Because who doesn't love a good jump scare? I would suggest to sit back and let me guide you through some of the scariest horror games out there that you will be able to enjoy this Halloween.
What is it?
Look out! It's a monster!
Let me take care of it!
First up is Resident Evil Remake, a golden oldie and a primer for every enthusiast of survival horror. This remake of the original PlayStation version is still considered one of director Shinji Mikami's great masterpieces. It was first released on the GameCube back in 2001, and even after 18 years the game still holds up beautifully. The mansion has a certain atmosphere you won't find anywhere else. Resident Evil makes incredible use of camera angles. After every blind corner a zombie could be lurking. The game also gives true meaning to the survival horror genre. As Chris or Jill you have to conserve ammo, decide which items to keep or throw away, and think about whether it is better to engage an enemy or make a run for it. You can only save in rooms with a typewriter, and only if you have sufficient ink ribbons to type your save game, meaning you have to carefully think about when and where you have to save. The gameplay is still solid, and even if you have played the original on the GameCube, the versions currently available are significantly improved. There is not only a clear bump in resolution and texture quality, but instead of the original tank controls, you can go for a 3D movement style. So if you are looking for a classic scare, don't sleep on this one. From all the games on this list, Until Dawn is the one that is fun to play together with friends at home. If you read the plotline, you might think it's kind of cheesy. I mean, a couple of naive teenagers going on vacation in a remote lodge in the forest. It just basically writes itself. But hey, that is definitely part of its charm. Until Dawn is an incredibly fun experience because it's scary, exciting, clever, amusing at times, and still a good looking game. It carries some recognizable faces such as Hayden Panettiere, who is well known from the TV series Heroes, and Rami Malek, who starred in the TV series Mr. Robot and the box office hit Bohemian Rhapsody.
I mean, we got unrequited love, we got blood.
For all its spookiness, the game is quite accessible. Since it is basically a collection of quick-time events, decision making, and walking or running around, it is easy to share the experience with a couple of friends on the couch and passing along the controller. As long as you don't do it in a remote lodge yourself, you should be perfectly fine. By the way, if you're lucky you can pick the game up quite cheaply. I snatched mine for next to nothing.
This place just gets better and better.
This was supposed to be a very special feast. Come on, boy.
It's the second Resident Evil game on this list, but that doesn't make it any less scary. Resident Evil 7 in VR is considered bloody scary because of its VR utilization, which is exclusive to the PlayStation 4. Players actually described feelings such as anxiety, and others have mentioned that it turns their stomach. In the game you play as Ethan Winters, who receives a mysterious videotape from his presumed dead girlfriend Mia. He travels to a plantation in Louisiana, which is home to the Twisted Baker family. Ethan has to survive the death trap set by the family throughout their house. As the first mainline Resident Evil game in VR, it is an absolutely horrifying experience. Especially this scene had many players literally freak out in real life. If you have the stomach for it, try it out. Just, don't forget to buy a diaper with your PSVR starter kit. One of the first games that gave meaning to the genre of first-person survival horror. Outlast was released back in 2013 as an indie game and quickly gained traction in the streamer community. As streamers played the game to a live audience, their reaction to the jump scares in the game led to viral reaction videos across the internet. If you can look past the fact that Outlast looks a bit aged, what awaits you is a claustrophobic, camcorder-style exploration through a haunted asylum taken over by its former patients. The game also invites the player to use stealth mechanics instead of combat to hide from your enemies. Enemies, in general, are much stronger than you are, and if you get discovered, most of the time your best option is to run. Outlast is available on every major current generation platform, as well as the PC. And if you finish the game, there is also the excellent Outlast 2. On digital stores you can occasionally pick the game and its sequel up for cheap. But a lot of brick and mortar stores also have the physical version for a bargain price nowadays. So keep an eye out.
They killed us!
Now this is a special one. PT is actually not really available anymore, since publisher Konami has willingly pulled the game from PlayStation Network. That means your only way to play it is if you know someone or if you buy it from someone else who has it pre-installed on their PlayStation 4. If you do manage to get your hands on it, you are in for some trick or treats. The game is a demo teaser for the unreleased Silent Hills, which was supposed to star Norman Reedus, who we know from The Walking Dead.
Thanks.
Silent Hills was cancelled not long after the release of PT. PT however lived on, as the teaser stayed on the PlayStation Network for a short while. It was a horror experience as never seen before. The game lets you loop through the same area over and over again, where each reincarnation is different and brings you deeper into the experience. The gameplay is simple, you can only zoom in and walk around, and through this you are forced to investigate unnatural occurrences and solve cryptic puzzles. I won't spoil anything else for you, just play it, if you have the chance of course. So that's it for all the spookiness you can scoop up this Halloween. Let me know what super scary games you will play around Halloween, or which legitimately scary moments you have experienced in games before. Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and like this video. And I'll see you next time.
What the hell is this thing?